Hello.
Taking the whole week off, huh? Interesting.
Ouch. It's so loud. Okay, what now?
Taking the whole week off.
Yeah,
What's that about?
so I can take the whole week off.
But why?
Because I want it.
Okay, just curious.
Am I not allowed to do that?
When does the show take a week off? Spring break or something?
I know, but it never is on my schedule. It's usually like not during my spring break, and anytime that there's time off, I'll have the kids. So I never get a chance to have a vacation.
So where are you going? Disney World?
Ella J.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Going to LJ
Mm-hmm.
instead of Disney World.
Yeah, going to Disney World.
Why? They just opened up the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Epcot, which some people are pissed about because it has nothing to do with Epcot.
Oh yeah, that is weird, huh? Epcot.
I guess the future is tied to space. So you can
Right.
go hang out with Groot.
Oh, I want baby Groot.
No, you need the new beefy meathead Groot.
Beefy?
Yeah, he's a meathead. He's buff.
Oh, not like the original Groot?
No, because it's a different Groot. People think that the original Groot, when he killed himself in the first movie to save everyone, that the twig that was planted was him just being reborn, but it wasn't. It's a totally new Groot.
Oh, I thought it was like an octopus that can like regenerate alone.
No, sadly that Groot died.
Oh.
And so the new Groot, if you should look up, he made his debut in the Guardians Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
But
my kids know that it's Christmas special. I don't know why. It's like they know the music from it.
I mean, there's a song. What was it? The old 97s.
Yeah, they really liked it.
And Muscle Groot was dancing to it. You should look him up. New Muscle Groot.
New Muscle Groot.
People don't like him, but my theory behind it is that it makes for an easy outfit at the Disney theme parks.
Oh, that's how they worked around it.
Yeah, I think I'm that cynical where I think when they're like, what should this group be? It's like, well, if he was really tall like the other one, we'd have to get someone on stilts. This one's like the normal height of a person. And they can
he's like a teenager, right?
Well, at this point, I think maybe he's a little older.
Aw, he has like a young face.
Yeah, he's still young. He's not like the old Groot, but he's buff.
Little baby Groot.
He's buff.
The little baby Groot always made me think of Little Big World. Remember that game?
No.
I never played it, but I wanted to play it. It's just like a little guy. He's like knitted. He's got like the consistency of like a little crocheted or knitted little guy. And he's so cute. And I remember being really pregnant and crying during the commercials for A Little Big Planet. Sorry.
Little Big Adventure?
Little Big Planet.
What's the one where you rolled the ball around?
No, that's Katamari.
Oh.
Little Big Planet, yeah, is this really cute little thing. And I just thought it was so cute, and I would cry during the commercial.
All right, I see. I see how it looks like a Groot, a baby Groot.
It's so cute.
Drinking my Nespresso. I have an espresso machine. Isn't that fucking fancy?
That is fancy. I've heard that the stores are really fancy to get Nespresso. Like Nespresso stores are fancy.
Howard and Martha gave it to me for my birthday.
Oh, that's nice. Do you like Nespresso?
Yeah, they have a machine, and I go over there. The way it's brewed, it's it certainly is fancier than a drip coffee, but also I'm not so fancy of a person, and I enjoy buying $11 worth of drip coffee, or like the grounds that last for a month.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to buy these capsules for the very fancy machine that reads barcodes at the bottom of the capsule, so it knows how to brew it, which I guess is cool.
It does?
Yeah, I guess it's cool technology, but
it is fancy.
You can't like add additional. It's like 7.7 ounces. That's what it's going to brew at, no matter what. It's like, hey, I want more. Give me more. I don't care if it's a little watered down. Give me more. They won't
Can't like
do
just
it.
add water to it.
I guess you could. Or milk.
Milk.
As some people say. Milk.
Yeah.
Eggs.
Or when they say sell, they call it sill. Like, we need to put our house up for sale. I've been watching, all those clips of Sister Wives, and they're all from, where are all the Mormons from?
Salt Lake City, Utah?
Yeah, Utah, yeah. And they do certain things. So they'll say stuff like sill, stuff like that, but then they'll also say, anything that ends with a ing, instead of saying like talking, they'll end it with like talking. They'll end it with like a K, almost like a real soft K.
And it's just the Mormons?
Well, I think it's just Utah. I think it's a Utah thing. Well, Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules is also from Utah, and she does it. She's like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, I was reading that in the future, the Mormons are going to have the final laugh because polygamy is going to be, that's the road we're on. Monogamy is out. Polygamy, meaning marrying.
Well, polyamory.
No. Polygamy is going to come into play.
No, but polygamy
is the marriage. It's the marriage.
Patriarchal.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be updated and reinvented where women have say too. And
well, it's called something else when women have multiple husbands.
Well, that aside, I'm not saying that that's...
I'm just saying we're using the wrong term.
That aside.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be... we could just get stuck on whatever that term is. I don't know what that term is. And I hear you on that. I'm acknowledging that I hear you.
Thank you. I feel heard.
And then I'm saying the incorrect term. But it's going to be en vogue soon. It's like, how dare you? We've all made choices together where I have several spouses, and so does my spouse.
Polyandry. I get it. I think I would trust a group that was led by a female matriarch with many husbands versus a man who has many wives, because men get real stupid. They're like, hey, you know what else is a good idea? For those wives to be like 15. And for me to like brainwash them that I'm their leader and no one can question me. And that I was like asked by God to be your leader.
Well, it usually is presented. They're there for my beck and call. Whatever I want, they need to jump.
Right. Where women are like, I don't know. I feel like the dynamics of a woman being the only female in, like, the only wife of many husbands. I feel like that would just be a different thing. I think there would be less manipulation, less creep going on. Why do dudes ruin everything? I really have become almost like a misandrist. Because if I was a man and I said or thought some of the things I think about men as if I did women, I would be like a real asshole.
You should say it. That's what this episode is. Autumn speaks your mind.
Whenever I think something that, that I know is by it, like really, I guess I'm so sorry about my head and my voice and my chest. It's like I'm all congested and weird.
Well, you claim to have strep throat.
Yeah, I got tested today. I have strep.
I'm immune.
How's that?
I don't know. I've never gotten strep throat, and I've been around people who have strep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it either.
I'm
Not
immune.
that I know.
I don't know if that's a real thing to be immune.
Yeah.
Immune to strep throat.
We need your blood as a vaccine.
I can just rub it into people's open wounds.
No, it doesn't work.
I can just drip it into their mouths.
I just watched that episode of The Last of Us.
What if it did work? It'd be so simple.
I know, that's it. But then, I don't know, she'd given up a lot of blood.
You should start playing the video games.
I know, I would like to.
Christina's loving them.
Really?
The second game really is divisive.
Why? Because you go off with her, right?
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
I know.
I would like to.
If I tell you what happens, then it'll spoil season 2 of The Last of Us for you. So I
Yeah,
can't tell you.
don't tell me. But anyway, I was gonna say I think
But it challenges you as a player in ways that a lot of people don't like.
ooh, interesting. Yeah, I downloaded Animal Crossing and I fucking hate it.
To me, that feels like a non sequitur because I wouldn't compare the two games. You're like, oh, we're talking about video games. Animal Crossing. I don't even know what the point of that game is. What do you do?
I don't either. I think the point of it is to read constantly. God, like I feel like I don't know the first time I started it, I was like, what is this, a reading game? This is so boring. And then you go around and you're trying to complete these little tasks and get to these little.
Don't you build a village and you select your plot of land and you build your house there and your friends show up and they hang out?
Yeah. And you got to like find things and you sell things and then you're helping them build the town by like getting them the supplies they need.
What animal are you playing?
So boring. I'm a human. Oh. You start as a person.
Oh, you transform into an animal.
No, I have no idea. I got it because Ellie really wanted to play it and I thought, oh, it might be nice. I hate it.
Well, you should get that.
$60.
Just who has a PlayStation? Anyone?
No.
So you can't play The Last of Us.
Oh, my friends. I think you can't download it for Switch.
Or you can. I don't know. It's a PlayStation original. It was never on Xbox. Or it's porn counterpartner. Yeah, The Lust of Ass. You didn't like that? Last of Us, Lust of Ass.
The Last of Us Nintendo Switch consoles. What does that mean? Is The Last of Us on Xbox, Game Pass, Switch, or PC? Ew, get out of here. I don't want to disable my ad blocker.
No.
You fucking assholes.
I don't think you can.
The Last of Us is incredibly unlikely to ever come to Xbox Series, Xbox One, Game Pass, or Nintendo Switch. Farts. Well, I can't buy another thing.
If I get a PlayStation 5, I'll sell you my PlayStation 4.
Thank you.
For $300.
Oh, oh yeah.
And you can play those games. Are you good at the complex video games?
I mean, I beat Vice City. I didn't complete like 100% of everything, but I beat I beat the game.
Yeah, sometimes it's daunting to start a new game because you have to learn the controllers.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm ready. I don't know. I think I can do it.
All right.
Yeah. What was I going to tell you?
You're just talking about how you hate dudes, and that's going to be the every nasty thought that comes to mind about dudes. Probably because you're dealing with them more often these days.
Yeah, I feel like oh yeah.
Just make it official.
I honestly forgot. Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. I have strep throat.
And I can never get strep throat because I am immune, a hidden immunity, though you can still carry the bacteria apparently and pass it off to other people. I just did a quick search on it.
Oh, nice. So you can have it but not show any symptoms?
I get no symptoms. I get no, though a complete aside, I pretend that I'm a model of wonderful health and my immune system's top notch, but I don't know what was going on earlier where I had some blindness in my eye, like flash blindness, but I didn't stare at any bright lights.
Whoa, really?
Yes, I feel like I had a stroke or something.
Oh my God, that's scary.
It drifted too at first. Like if I was staring directly at something, there was like just a big blind spot in both eyes. Like I feel as though it would have been worse if it was, my name's Greg Russ, by the way.
Hi. I
feel like it would have, I don't know if you said your name, but.
I didn't. I said I have strep throat.
Yeah. Okay. Autumn.
Yeah. Autumn strep throat Fisher reporting live.
But I was like, if I was looking at something directly, there was a blind spot where like if I was reading something, I couldn't read the complete sentence because it would just disappear.
That sounds like something you get before a migraine.
A stroke. Yeah, it does pop up in those instances I was reading, but I don't get migraines. I can't tell you that I've ever had a migraine.
You should make a neurologist an appointment with a neurologist.
Nah, I don't want to know what's going on. I drew the conclusion that because it was in both eyes, that I must have looked at something bright and I didn't know. Maybe I stared at the sun and I didn't realize it. If it was in one eye, it would have scared me more, like the retina was detaching in that eye. But the fact it was happening in both. But then it seemed to drift to my periphery, and then I couldn't see things off to the side.
Nothing online helped you?
Well,
scaring you?
Well, there's this idea that when your arteries are getting clogged, there's less blood flow to your eyes, and it can happen then. I was standing on the subway platform, and this man was yelling, "Shut the fuck up before I bust your mouth." And he just kept saying it over and over and over again.
To no one?
Yeah, but it seems like when people got close to him, he would direct it towards them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was saying it to no one. And I was staring down at him, but I don't know, there's no bright source of light down that way. That's when it happened.
Maybe it stressed you out.
It was an instance where usually when people are ranting and raving, like, there's a sense. It's like, I felt like that guy could have attacked someone. Like,
right.
It was unsettling a bit. I was like, oh, that guy seemingly is got a lot of rage. And if somebody
no impulse control.
Yeah, if somebody walks too close to him, then they may get punched in their mouth like he's threatening. Mm-hmm. A lot of other times, you're like, I don't know, I don't feel anything with this person, but that guy seemed a little too unpredictable.
So yeah, maybe it scared you, but you weren't able to express it because you couldn't show fear out of survival. So it stressed you out or something.
There's still this idea. Like, I'm not going to move away. I'm not moving. I mean, he was far enough away, and if he'd gotten closer to me, I would have moved away. But in the past...
No, I get it.
In the past, too, like, I've stood near people who are just pacing and yelling things. Proving what? I don't know. To who? I don't know. Like, I'm just going to stand right near the person.
I think to that, it's like not giving in to whatever they're sort of trying to invoke, so that they know that you are just as they are the strep throat, and you are immune.
Yeah, I'm going to start carrying around this tire thumper that I was gifted, also by Howard, my 70-year-old friend. For
What's
anyone,
a tire thumper?
It's this baton that apparently truckers use to thump their tires to test the air pressure, just to make sure things are okay. But it's a weapon, is what it is.
Oh,
and like, New York's got very strict laws. Like, I can't order knives and have them shipped to my house in this city. Some sites will let, and some sites aren't following the law, but there's a lot of sites that say we can't ship that to you. And I think this thing, similarly, it's like, no, we can't ship it to you. But if it's a tire thumper, it's like, yeah, of course, you can have that.
See.
Did you look it up? It's like it's a wooden stick.
Yeah.
That they put a bolt in the end. And so it weights it. And you can really smash someone up with it.
Yeah, I bet.
So, and the nice thing, it's got a strap you can put around your wrist. That way, if you do get in the fight and the person tries to pull it away.
It's like a baton.
Yeah.
It makes me think of a slapjack.
I'm not sure what that is. The collapsible one?
I
just know the card game.
No, it's not a card game. There is a card game, I guess. No, it's like this. I think police used to use it. It's this small little handheld thing where, except it being a baton, it's like squished almost. It's like a squished flat baton, usually leather, and it's weighted in the end. It has like a disc or something, and the leather is like stitched around it, and it's really hard. Like, you could like really crush a skull if you needed to.
Yeah, so if I was carrying this thing and the guy's like, shut the fuck up, I'm going to bust you in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'd say, huh? Whose mouth's going to get busted? I always imagine...
Meet my friend, Thumper.
I always imagine that those people are like just so juiced up that nothing hurts them. There's such adrenaline going through their bodies.
Oh, that's probably true too.
Like, you knock their knee and they just keep coming like Terminator.
You're not going to hurt them more than their family has hurt them. They don't feel pain anymore.
Well, there's a bit more going on there. Clearly.
Mental illness.
Yeah, but you can't force people to get treated.
Yeah.
It is a difficult conundrum. What do you do?
It's a shame that all of that, all of the abuse and things happened in those mental facilities. Because that's where a lot of people like needed to go and need to go.
Well, even just in the homeless shelters, there's a lot of homeless people who won't go to those because they're violent and dangerous.
Right.
So they prefer to live out on the street.
Well, and a lot of people like their illness.
They like it?
Yeah. A lot of people who have bipolar or manic or who are manic, I mean, the functioning ones I hear will say that they miss their manic phases because they got a lot done. They felt really productive. They were so happy. It was just
I don't know if that's liking it. I guess they're finding a positive in it.
I think that they missed it. And then there are a lot of people on the streets that enjoy, especially like I was saying about family issues.
Also, Homeland did that. People watched Homeland and they're like, "Oh my god,
what's Homeland?"
It was a show on Showtime with Claire Danes.
Right.
I'm like, I could solve these international mysteries and protect the country with my manic depressive disorder. Or was it just bipolar? You're not supposed to say that.
She had that?
As far as I recall, yes.
Okay.
Claire Danes, bipolar.
Claire Danes.
She's not. Oh, apparently this is a problem now because Claire Danes is not bipolar in real life, and so therefore shouldn't have been able to play a character who was bipolar.
Okay. Just because there's one result of that when you Googled it doesn't mean it's a problem.
Well, but here's right below that somebody who says they have bipolar disorder, and Claire Danes' portrayal was refreshing. It was accurate and refreshing.
Well, now I don't know what to think. Just kidding. I never thought about it ever in my life until just now. I don't care.
So sometimes I think people watch that and they're like, yeah, that would be cool if I suffered like that. But in real life, I don't know if I hear what you're saying. I do. I'm sure that people do say that, like, oh, those manic episodes, but the other side to it. Did anyone enjoy the downs? No.
No. But like I was saying, that people on the street, who could have, had very troubling childhoods along with a propensity for bipolar disorder, they might like the sort of living on the edge of society because it keeps things interesting. Otherwise, things get pretty boring. Like living in a safe.
Maybe there's maybe
place
there's
is pretty boring.
Yeah, maybe there's a sect of people that feel that way, but I don't know if this guy today had any of those thoughts.
Oh, that's what I don't think there was any space in his brain to think any of those thoughts.
I don't know who was talking to him.
Yeah. Who are the people that walk down the street like what? Who are they really talking to? Are they hearing voices like they have schizophrenia?
I'm sure it's many different things.
Auditory hallucinations?
It could be part of it. It's too hard for me to speak to because I don't know enough about the different disorders that could present such a thing. But I always think of it as a brain short-circuiting, where it's like some of the circuits, they're just misfiring.
Yeah.
And so there are things like that happening, like even just dementia. It's like what goes on in a person's head when they're suffering from dementia. Like my grandmother was suffering from dementia at the end of her life, and here and there would snap back and say things very clearly and seemingly had an idea of where she was. But when that's not happening, does somewhere in her brain does she know and she can't articulate it, or is there just zero access to it? And when you do snap back, is it sad? It's like, where have I been? And I don't want to drift. She would never say anything like that.
I think there are people that at the very beginning of their dementia will say that they're scared.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're getting confused.
Right.
So I guess it's just a totally different state of consciousness though, right? When you're deep in it.
I don't know. I'm in denial. I feel like I will never be like that.
But you very well could be. My grandmother.
I know. I know that. But in my mind, I feel like, nope, I won't, because I don't know why, but I will. Just like when people get, the people that get so drunk and they're like, and they're doing whatever. They're like, like I know that I've been like that, but I feel like it's less than half a handful in my life, and I I've always had just a little toe into sobriety, and I feel like I could be in denial or just unaware of how this works. I just think I think I'll be able to hang on to reality.
I don't think you have a say.
I know.
I don't think that's anything in your control.
I just feel like I could.
I just
like I think in a survival situation that I think I would live. I'd make it through.
I mean, that's a bit different though. You have your wherewithal, your faculties.
Yeah.
You can't control if your brain starts to slip.
I know, but there are ways to fight through that.
I don't think there are.
I mean, there are people that fight dying. I fought dying.
That's
It sounded really stupid after I said it.
But again, that's different. That's survival instinct that kicks in.
Yeah.
And again, your brain is still functioning properly. A lot of what you're talking about is your brain. You're leaning on the fact that you're clear-minded in a way. Like, sure, when you're drowning, there's a bunch of panic that's setting in. But somewhere, it's like, I'm going to survive. I'm going to fight through this. When you lose the ability to even have that thought, like if your brain starts to slip and dementia's coming, I don't think you can say, I'm just going to fight through this.
I just feel like you could be like, hey, you know, like, as it's happening, no, like that.
It puts it in it frames it in a way where it's like the people who slip into it, like, oh, they were weak, they couldn't fight.
No,
it.
and I don't mean that. I really don't mean anything that has to do with any science or logic. It really is just my stupid brain thinks, like, I could do it.
Like when my grandfather died, I don't know if my grandmother knew, or if she did know. Did she grieve? Did it mean anything to her at that point? Because she was really deep into the dementia.
Yeah, I don't know. Did she still try to do things for him after he died?
No, she'd had to have a living caretaker. It was too far gone. But though apparently knew she was going to die. My aunt, who was close by, who would visit like every day, went by and my grandmother said that it's over. And then died.
Wow. Like a cat.
Yeah.
How did she die? Like the next day?
Yeah, she just died. She just slipped away. Like that night.
What?
That was it.
My aunt, who was dying at home with like hospice and stuff, she kept like day after day that she would wake up, she was getting disappointed. She was like, what the fuck?
If you're in hospice care, I can understand that. It's like, look, we've made the choice.
Yeah, she was ready and she kept not dying.
So what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening with Jimmy Carter now?
Oh, is it?
They've just decided. I don't know exactly. I mean, he's like late 90s.
Oh, yeah. He's lived way longer than I think anyone expected, especially surviving cancer in his 90s.
He's 98 years old. I'm looking up pictures now, too. It's like this one picture's got a bandage on his head and a black eye.
Oh, yeah. He's been a mess.
He fell. That's a shame.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just make the choice. It's like, all right, there's nothing going on. It's time. And when you're in that situation, maybe it is better. It's like, what are you holding on for? At least I'm thinking of myself in that situation in a hospice care. It's like, all right, I know I'm dying. It's going to happen. I don't want it to continue on life for 6 more days or something. It's like,
she was ready.
I got those extra 6 days.
It was really nice in a lot of ways because we all got to come see her before. We all got to talk to her.
Yeah, having the opportunity to do that is a nice thing.
It really felt like a birth because, which I know is poignant, life starting and life ending, but especially the way that she did it, where she was in the hospital and they were trying to treat her and she just didn't want to do it anymore. And so she left and went home to die. And then, was like, when is it going to happen? And it's kind of like that with a birth because, the doctors are constantly telling you about your due date. and you don't know whether that's going to happen like you're actually going to have a baby before the due date or afterward. And especially when it's after the due date, you're just like, when is this baby? Like, you're just done being pregnant.
Unless you have a C-section.
Coming. Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you're waiting for the labor to start.
Look, at some point, there should be medically assisted. I don't even want to say suicide, because it's not, if you know you're going to die and let's say you're in pain or something, it's not even suicide. You're not giving up. You're just like, look, you're admitting the reality of the situation. So there's no coming back. There should be a nice way that people can go instead of drawing it out so that they have to suffer. Kevorkian was right.
All they do at the end is just to make sure that you have a lot of pain relief. And then your body just starts going through the process of dying, which can happen over like a week or a couple days. With like that scary breathing that they get. It's like rattly. They get a lot of fluid.
I don't want to think about this.
Oh, okay. Well,
you just don't know. Like, you talking about being able to fight through dementia. It's like when I was talking about this eye thing, it's like, what if I went to the eye doctor and they said it's something, and that's probably not even life or death. It could be, I guess, depending. Let's say, your arteries are so clogged that you're going to have a heart attack in 6 minutes. Sorry, you can't go get a stent put in and the blockage cleared, which is a bit unrealistic. But even if it was something like, your retinas are detaching and you're going to go blind, we can't stop it. Fuck. Like, suddenly everything changes. And I know that it happens if you know or you don't know, but I'd rather just not know.
But Greg, I'm sorry, that's real stupid, because you have access to some wonderful medical care. And there are a lot of people that would want to be in that position.
What if they say there's nothing they can do?
Of course there are things they can do.
Sometimes there's things that can't be done.
Okay, listen, you have to know that is your brain catastrophizing and justifying a way for you to avoid finding out if there's anything wrong.
If you have stage 4 cancer, I understand if you went earlier and you caught it, there was a chance. But stage 4,
catch it now.
Stage 4, I guess, according to the videos going around on TikTok, the cure of cancer was discovered 47 years ago.
Is that what TikTok's saying?
Yeah, there's a whole series of videos where one of these guys.
Is it like from a berry in the Andes that the goats live on and they live to 120 years old?
No, there was a guy with an alternative treatment. I think he was Brzezinski, the Brzezinski Clinic.
Okay.
In 1996, it was before 96. Founded in 76, located in Houston. I don't know. I can't get into it. There was peptides.
It's not important because
there was something about peptides, and people with cancer didn't have these peptides, and people who didn't have cancer did have the peptides. So you do this alternative treatment where you introduce the peptides, but it's also not as safe and natural as it's proclaimed, and it does eat away at your brain the same way radiation would with chemotherapy.
Oh, okay.
And there's a big fucking online movement right now where it's like they're keeping this from you because they want to keep making money in the medical field, while this man has been labeled a quack. It's like the truth is he's making money too, and a lot of these alternate, a lot of these alternate medicines, treatment people, they're doing the same fucking thing. They're making money. I am a cynical person, and I know that pharmaceutical companies quite often are in it for money and do awful fucking things to continue to make money. But the medical field as a whole and all the people in it, I can't believe that if there was a cure for cancer that was agreed upon, that everybody would agree to suppress it and let people die because they all just want to continue to make some money. I don't believe that.
Yeah, of course not. Why are you taking anything from TikTok as
I'm surprised.
Legitimate.
I am surprised at this movement. It was huge. The number of fucking videos.
And now this is so you're on TikTok now? Are you looking at TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok, but I mean,
Where are you seeing this?
I have a TikTok. I have a TikTok.
Okay.
I'm not on it often. Rarely.
I'm just saying. So that's your For You page. So it doesn't mean. So I have
what I
seen
did
nothing
is like
about
something popped up on, on Instagram. The TikToks are posted on there.
the Reels, which are
and
2 months behind.
Yeah, and then there's always something. It's like watch part 2, and there's never a fucking part 2. So I went to TikTok to see what the fuck this was about because I was like, this sounds ridiculous. And doing a search on it, the number of videos that came up absolutely blew my mind, and the people presenting it as fact, just straight up fact, that this man has discovered the cure and has been unfairly treated, and the rest of the medical field has decided to team up against him and withhold the cure to cancer. You laugh, but this is, to me, if you're in that spot and you've tried other methods and you feel like there's nothing to lose, then sure, maybe I would.
Oh yeah, of course.
But there are people quite often early on when they have to make decisions that could make big differences that would see something like this. And it could render awful results.
Right.
That's all. Like, I used to work for a guy who was a fucking medical quack. And that's where he lived in people's minds. Granted, he had a radio show and there was a following. He made a lot of money off of these people by selling his vitamins and talking about how you could cure cancer with coffee enemas and autism was caused by vaccines, shit like that.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. We brought it up the other day when I was talking about the ozone therapy. This guy's coming up quite a bit now. But now with the advent of TikTok, it seems like a lot of these things can be pushed forward and more people will be subject to it.
I mean, but hopefully you see something like that and you mention it to somebody and someone's like, the cure for cancer is what?
The conviction. Yeah, but the conviction these people speak with. And maybe
but they're not speaking to anyone. They're just talking to their phones. They're not looking at someone while someone's looking at them skeptically or even having to defend any questions put forth to them except for in a comment section, which could be deleted or blocked or whatever. So anybody with a brain who's looking on TikTok or at least isn't savvy enough to like look through there and take things that are presented with a grain of salt, then you're dumb.
I guess I just don't trust people. Like before you had one person's voice. You had this guy's voice that I worked for.
Yeah.
Now you've got 160 people, maybe more. And they're all just talking about it like this is what's going on. It's a little more difficult. And I guess I don't have...
Why? It's not. You just look at that and say, oh, look, all these other people are saying this too. Let me look it up myself.
I think there are people when they're in moments of desperation can be steered and influenced. That's all.
Well, yeah, of course they can, but they need to also look things up. Okay.
Shut it down. Just like
speaking of influence,
Trump wanted to do and Schumer. No. Shut it down. Look, bipartisanship can be achieved on a TikTok stance.
I really think you should go to a doctor, get some things checked out.
Nah.
That's real stupid, Greg. I just want you to know that. That's real dumb.
Why? It's fine. Everything's fine. Just because I am out of breath constantly.
And don't you think it would be a relief for you to find something out, whether it was something or nothing? Because if they see something, then they're going to be like, oh, I think we'll start you on this and, let's check back with you in a month and we'll see if you've improved. And then your numbers will be improved. And they'll be like, oh, good job. You're young and healthy. Bye.
You're middle-aged and healthy, not young.
Well, you're still young. You know what I'm saying? Don't you think that's dumb to not take care of something when
somewhere in my brain I know it's dumb, but there's a lot of comfort in avoidance.
But listen, you're speaking my language when you're talking about avoidance. So
a lot of comfort there.
That's what gave me pause.
Ignorance
but this
is
feels
bliss.
Different because it's it's yourself. You're not having to rely on another individual to avoid the reaction or repercussions or anything from that. But it's you.
It's just strange to realize that, oh yeah, these things that I thought, oh, you could get some bad news, but that probably won't happen until later in life. It's like, oh yeah, it's probably getting a little closer. It's about
But
here.
you've said it you've always been afraid. Forever that you've been afraid of.
I don't even go to the dentist now because I don't want to. The last time I went, when they told me, when the nasty dental hygienist stabbed my, that's what they are, right?
Yeah, it just sounded like hygienist.
Oh, like the band.
Yeah. Hi, Genesis.
That would be the cover band where you dress as dentists and their servants. And you play all the Phil Collins hits. I would keep Gabriel out of it. Only the Collins era.
All that weird stuff can stay away.
No, and last time I went and she's like, there's an infection near your crowns. You need to floss. I'm like, I'm not flossing. It's a scam. You've always told people to floss. I'm not going to floss. And for so many years, I didn't floss and everything was fine. Now suddenly, a pocket is forming. You need to get this treatment. And it's like, the truth is I got the antibiotic injections, which are just little packets they put up in the gum. Because I was like, okay, I believe this one. Then it's like, the rest of your teeth, though. Look at this crowding on your bottom teeth. It's like, yeah, I've had that my whole fucking life. It's not getting any worse. It's not shifting. It's not changing. You should really think about getting that straightened out. It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah, you can. I think that you can go to the medical professionals and still be discerning about, what you think you should do, decisions you should make.
Well, then
you shouldn't just take everything that they say and say, okay, like, let's go.
The other part of it was, you should get a scaling, which is a procedure that, I don't know, you get under the gums, apparently, to do a deep clean. And it just felt like upselling.
They're trying to sell you. Yeah, they're just selling you.
And I said, no, I don't
go back to that place.
I said, no, I've been going to this dentist for 15 years. Then I think that they sold it because last time I went in, a dude walked in who was the dentist to talk to me and I'd never seen him before. I was like, you're not my dentist. I don't know if someone else just bought the practice and got all the patients. And, but this woman though, when I said no to the scaling, she's like, okay, well, at least I brought my sharp tools today. And then it was the most painful cleaning I've ever had. I swear
God, that's horrible.
I swear that she punished me. And yeah,
that is horrible.
I haven't been back since. Because
find a new dentist.
It's been about a year since I've been now. I'm going to find a new dentist, but part of me is able to explain away. It's like maybe my teeth are and my gums are in some kind of shape that needs attention. And it's easy to write off by saying this was a mean old woman who just wanted to hurt me.
That's true, but that's when you get a second opinion. And if you find that another dentist is saying like, hey, it's looking like this or that,
Yeah, I don't want to know that. And I was like, oh man, they were right. That witch was right.
No. She can still be a dick and be right.
Good thing I brought my sharp tools.
Yeah, and
it was wild shit. I'm not one of.
She sounded like.
I think she got some joy out of it.
Yeah.
Like you sit there, and I found myself grasping the chair.
You should have told her like, "Yo, that's too hard."
Maybe somewhere inside.
You're allowed to speak up for yourself.
No, you can't because there's too much going. Your mouth's open.
You say, stop. This is too painful. You've got to be. I don't want any more of that. You have to take ownership. Take some.
Then she goes.
You got to of your own bod.
Then she goes even a little harder.
She raped you.
It's like the lunch lady from Billy Madison with the sloppy joes. I made them extra sloppy.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
So anyway, that's just best to avoid.
Please, Greg, don't be these idiots. You know what?
Don't be these idiots.
Don't be these idiots. A friend of ours' mother died young because she did not get, she was afraid about what was going on in her body, and she died of cancer like that.
Who? You give initials, I guess.
Oh, well, Tim Andrews' mom.
Oh.
Tim's mom.
Maybe he doesn't want people knowing that.
Well, I think it's fine.
Okay. could have just given the initials.
But I just thought that was stupid. Like that is it's so selfish and stupid, right? Like I feel like if you, Greg, if something happens to you and it's because of something that was totally preventable, but it was your neuroses that stopped you from getting the help that you needed, I would be so pissed. And then I would be really angry that I don't get to be so sad because I'm so mad at you.
No, it sounds like you problem. Not knowing how to regulate your own emotions.
I don't think regulating your emotions is like your top priority if a friend dies.
When I was at the doctor.
Over something that could have been stopped.
I was at the doctor last time. She's like, oh, you're 40 now. Should we do the prostate exam? Like, nope. No. We'll do that in like 10 years.
Oh, get in there. I got my mammogram.
That's different.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I can't handle a little fingy in the butthole.
I don't want it.
Again, men, such little babies.
I don't want it. I don't want it. No one's going up your butthole.
I can't. Listen, I've had plenty of people trying to get something up my butthole. Not a big deal.
I'm not doing it.
You're a wuss.
Well, they say they can do blood work now. And then if something shows up, then they have to do further check. But if nothing shows up, then they know you're fine.
What are they feeling for? Do they think they ever feel like a turd up there? Like waiting in the colon to come out?
When you're trained, when you're properly trained, when you go to years of medical school and you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to eventually put your finger up someone's butt.
Yeah.
Who decides to do that?
Just to be that's what I always think about male gynecologists. I'm like, why are you doing this?
I always just assumed they were pervs.
Men are stupid. Something I think about, like, I would never trust a male gynecologist.
Well, there was a time that only men could do it.
Yeah. They took over. They thought that the midwives were spreading diseases and they were the one, and the doctors were the ones that weren't washing their hands in between patients. And they were spreading all kinds of shit.
I agree. I wouldn't go to a dude if I were a woman. I think with the prostate thing, going to a female doctor, I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. I don't want to subject you to that.
They don't care.
Oh, they care.
The human body to them is not the same thing as
it's like when someone has hemorrhoids.
How we think about it.
And like bend over and they pull your butt apart and just stare at it and put little rubber bands on it and stuff. What the fuck are they doing? Who chooses to do that? I don't care how much you get paid.
It looks like those clicker zombies from The Last of Us. That's what your butthole looks like.
I don't. Why?
I'm telling you, they don't care. It's like those guys. It's like the people that that want to get, like the they want to bust open your cyst for you, and like drain something out of your skin, because they think it's all. They're like, yes, or like dentists or hygienists who like want a gross mouth so that they can clean it. Like they want to get in there. They don't. That's what they like. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, it's like power washing though. At that point, when you have a bunch of plaque.
But someone's stinky body.
Yeah, but it's like if you're sticking your finger up someone's butt all day and then you go eat a Big Mac, you don't think about that? I know you're putting gloves on. I understand that, but still, it's like this finger's been up 16 butts today. I'm going to enjoy my
I think
bird.
Maybe at first. And then they're like, yeah, it's been up 16,000 butts since I started.
Oh, thanks. I'd much rather just become a podiatrist when people are like, how boring.
Oh, that's worse. People's, oh my God, those like thick nails that curl back into the skin and you have to like cut them. Oh, those what really actually grosses me out is seeing, especially, I'm sorry, again, men, and they're disgusting how gross their feet can get. And they're still like no problem wearing flip-flops. And they have like a big, like, cut almost in their heel, but it's just because it's so dry. It's like a crack. Ew, and it's all yellow. And they're just like, no, I don't care. I just walk around with my disgusting feet.
I don't know what the standard is, the double standard there is.
Well, I mean, even just the other day, I was driving to work. Excuse me. I'm
Shouldn't
sorry.
you have some shame if your feet look like that? They're
Well,
filled with grits and.
This is the thing. So I feel both. Let's hype you up and let's like let you live. Let's let your freak flag fly. But there are just certain parameters, and maybe we're all different. But I feel like if your feet are gross, don't let your feet out. I don't want to see them. But then somebody else's parameters can be like, you're fat, and I don't want to see you're fat. Whereas for me, I'm like, yes, bitch. Like, wear what you like. So maybe it's just we're all just have different sort of range of what's acceptable.
Being a podiatrist in New York, though, it's like you're a tire shop. You got to keep people running.
Yeah.
They've got those injuries when things fall apart. It's the main means of transportation, and your job's very important, getting them back on the road, making sure people can get to where they need to go.
Yeah, if you're going to be old in New York, you better be tough.
Yeah, I am tough. Ain't nothing going to get me.
Yeah, right. If you don't take care, your brain is going to get you.
Your brain manifests shit. So the moment you know something's wrong, then it gets worse. When you don't know, nothing's happening.
Is that how it works?
Yep.
You know what? I think too, if you start leaving little gifts outside of your door, I think that might help too, because then you're giving back to the universe. Like one day you drop something outside and it was still there the next day and you had a really good day that day.
What are you talking about?
And so
I don't understand any of this.
I'm talking about like your weird suspicious brain where you're like, if I don't know about it, then it doesn't exist. Yeah, and if I do find out, then that's the only reason why it exists, because I found out.
Look, quantum mechanics, everything exists everywhere until it's measured.
Schrodinger's cat or something?
Until it's measured. So my arteries aren't clogged until somebody looks at them and says, now they're clogged. Because
yeah, but you're wasting half of your brain space thinking about them being clogged. And then like anything weird that happens to you, you're like, well, it's probably because I eat so much ice cream in my brain, my arteries are clogged. And my,
but it's
my
not, didn't, it's
my grandfather.
No,
that.
Not until a doctor says, oh my God, look at this. And then all those molecules pop into place in the form of plaque. How'd this come up? How'd this come up again?
Listen, you know what I think? Because it's on your mind. This is what I think you should do. I think from a therapeutic standpoint, you should go through in your brain all of the scenarios and let yourself be scared. Let yourself like go through all the things that you're afraid of feeling.
Never.
Yeah. And then maybe make the appointment and see what happens. Maybe if there is nothing, then you'll know nothing. Then it'll be fine. And then if there is something, you'll say, hey, you know what? I sort of thought about this and I thought it through. I worked through that. Sort of what would happen if this, then that.
Where's my block of cheese? I just want to eat it.
My 600-pound lifestyle.
Non-cheese. I eat blocks of cheese. Does old milk gross you out? Doesn't gross me out. It's just cheese.
I won't.
It's part of the process. Like dumping it out, I wouldn't drink it or eat it, but when you look at it, it's been separated. Did the curds in the way? Like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, I mostly just think like, oh, this has gone bad. Like, oh, I'm gross. It's gone really bad. If I were in the process of making cheese, I wouldn't be grossed out by that part of the process.
Some people get really squirrely around rotten milk.
Well, it's smart because you're not supposed to. Your brain is telling you don't drink that; it'll make you sick.
Does it? It's just cheese.
Yeah. No, it's not cheese yet.
Cottage cheese.
No, it's not being done in the right way. It's like it's old. The process of making a cheese is to age it in a specific way. It's not just like let the milk sit out and rot and then we'll have cheese.
Well, apparently it's not tasty.
Yeah.
Sour milk cheese.
Did I tell you I had made some pork chop? Okay, so I had these pork chops and I knew I needed to make them. Or no, maybe it was chicken. No, it was chicken.
And it was slimy. Ugh.
Well, and it was, I opened the pack and I knew I had waited like, this is either past the last day I should have made these, or this is the last day. So I took them out, and they didn't feel great, and they didn't smell great. So I washed them. And then when I smelled them again, they didn't smell like they did before, and they weren't slimy. So I was like, well, I'll try, So I cooked them all, and I was so proud. They smelled so good. It looked really good. And I sat down to eat one, and the first bite I took, I could taste that first way it smelled. I was like, bleh. I spat it back out, and I threw all of it away because I was like, I can't. I have to listen to my brain.
Yeah, your body senses.
Yep. I'm sorry, when I went bleh, I didn't mean I threw it up gagging or whatever. I was just like, nope. Instantly no. No bueno.
I wouldn't be able to get it out of my head either. That initial stench.
I don't think it was in my head. I think it really was like a signal.
No, I'm saying it's real. Like it was real when you took the meat out of the package. But it would live in my...
Oh, you mean past that point? You couldn't get past
I wouldn't have ever even tried to cook it because I would know. And it's like, this has already cemented itself in my brain.
I know, but then when I went to smell it again, it didn't have that smell. So I thought, maybe it's okay.
It's like deli meats.
The slime.
Cold cuts. Yeah, the moment you can smell it, it's like, okay, that's not good.
I think our brain will tell us a lot based on smell. I think it's important to listen to that.
Your body also knows.
Yeah.
If there's something, you eat something, I guess quite often it doesn't know because it stays in there and then you get sick with E. coli poisoning and you have diarrhea for days. It's still, but I do feel like there's a lot of times if you take something in and your stomach starts to churn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your body knows. For whatever reason, pomegranate juice did that to me once. I drank it plenty of times. I got a bottle of it and just taking a few sips threw up. And then I waited a day or two and took a few more sips of that same bottle and immediately threw up again.
Wow.
I don't know what was in it. And I've never tried it again since. So it also ruined it for me. Just like Jaeger.
Ugh. Jaeger's always been disgusting.
It has, but I feel like when I was first drinking, it was all gross. And for whatever reason, maybe because it was cold. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, look, I don't like any of this. Just give me shots of Jaeger. I'll do that. And then one day, the next day, really, waking up in the hangover and throwing up in the shower. It's like never again. I was 22 years old and I haven't had a sip of that junk since.
It is wild, the people that can still drink like that. Or even just being able to party like that hard.
Like Jared.
Whew.
He still wakes up. Feels great the next day.
Yeah. I don't think, has he talked about his hangovers getting worse?
No, there was something I heard on the show the other day that his friends are suffering, but he doesn't suffer.
Yeah. That's a bad thing. You need to suffer so that you can slow down.
You still got it. It's a point of pride.
Yeah.
It's a badge of honor. Look at me. I'm superior in many ways.
Well, I get that. I didn't have my drinking bones, I called them, for a long time after having my kids, and then I got them back. But then I went too far. Drank too much. It was sad.
That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Drinking bones and the subsequent crumbling.
Ugh.
It can be next week's topic.
The darkness.
Wasn't that a band?
I believe in nothing God love.
The darkness is here to save rock and roll. And then they had one song. That was it. That's all they had.
It. And they had their look. They had that 70s, 80s thing going on, I think.
Yeah, they're here to save rock and roll. I just remember that was the discussion.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
It's like
and subscribe,
Mother.
rate, and review.
Remember Wolf Mother?
Wolf Mother.
Wolf
that was
Mother,
the thief and the... Isn't that them?
Are they still around? I guess so.
I don't think that's the right song.
Wolf Mother.
Hold on, I have to look it up before you go. Wolf.
No. You can look it up later.
Song. No.
Woman.
I did the wrong thing.
Woman.
I was right. The Joker and the thief in the night.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, we can go. Bye. Oh, wait. And woman, not a woman.
That's what I just said, woman.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.